All right, here we go on a Wednesday, Wisconsin Family Podcast here on March 22nd. Only 8 days until Brewer baseball. 50 degrees in southeast Wisconsin today. It's a perfect day to get outside, fire up the grill, start training for your tailgating experience this summer. Get back into shape for summer. Not here yet. Might be a while, but it's coming. And today feels good. You got to train, be in shape, be ready for the summer. Get something out on the grill today. That's my suggestion. If you want to contact the program, you can do that. Best way to follow along is on Twitter. That is at Wisconsin_fam. At Wisconsin_FAM. Or if you'd like to email the show, you can do that as well. WisconsinFamily1@gmail.com. Okay, CBS Sports headline. Aaron Rodgers trade talks. Packers president Mark Murphy says he's sworn to secrecy about star quarterback and Jets. I guess maybe someone from the board yelled at him. He wasn't exactly sworn to secrecy a few weeks ago when he said, well, if all goes well and all goes as planned, Rodgers won't be our starting quarterback ever again. I saw Mike Florio wrote a piece on NBC Sports basically saying that the Jets should start playing hardball with the Packers and at some point accuse the Packers of making this whole thing personal. And I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Why all of a sudden are the Packers supposed to not be getting the most out of this deal for Rodgers? Are they being vilified that they're trying to get the most out of this deal? I mean, heavens forbid that an NFL team tries to benefit themselves. This is not a charity. This is the NFL. It's not a nice guy league. It's a cutthroat, do all you can to win. Idiot Florio writes, it's been a week since quarterback Aaron Rodgers made a public plea for the Packers to be reasonable in their expectations from the Jets. In the past 7 days, neither team has budged. The Packers, as Rodgers said, are digging in their heels. The Packers, as we have reported, are content to wait until the draft to do a deal. The Packers, as I personally believe, have allowed the situation to become petty and personal. Wait a minute, Rodgers made a plea for the Packers to be reasonable in their trade? Reasonable? I thought Rodgers said that he's arguably the best Packer of all time. Well, that sounds like at least a first-round pick to me. Rodgers talks out of both sides of his mouth. You call yourself really good, maybe the best ever, and then you ask for reasonable compensation? What do you mean reason? I thought you were the best. They should be getting a huge haul for you. But not when it comes... I mean, Rodgers can ask to be reasonable because it affects him. If it didn't affect him, he'd want the Packers to get a lot because that would look good on him. But it's affecting his move to the team he wants to go to. No, we must be reasonable. Ridiculous. Oh, and by the way, if I'm to believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to walk through the doors of the New York Jets and that they're going to be instant Super Bowl contenders, in fact, almost a given, a guarantee that they're going to win the Super Bowl, as many are talking like, then the Packers better damn well get at least one first-round pick. In addition to other picks. You got to get at least one out of one. I mean, come on. He makes you an instant Super Bowl contender. Some may even say beyond that, he gives you an instant Super Bowl win. And that's not worth a number one or a first round pick. Florio says, these are the New York Jets. Technically the New Jersey Jets. They should start demonstrating some of the attitude that those in their fan base would exhibit when dealing with difficult people in challenging situations. The Jets need to go on the offensive. they perhaps need to be a little offensive. They need to tell the Packers how it's going to be. Hey, have at it. But let the Packers tell you how it's going to be too. Your fan base, Jets, is craving Rodgers. If you don't get Rodgers, you've got a pathetic first-round pick Zach Wilson or nothing. Or go get Matt Stafford. But if you guys want Rodgers, you give us a first-round pick. You call when you're ready. Until then, goodbye. Oh, and by the way, we might start shopping Rodgers around just to see if anyone else might be interested. And hell, maybe we'll take a little bit less from them than we would have from you to make a deal. But if you want Rodgers, give us a first-round pick. Call us when you're ready to do that. Click. Goodbye. If you don't get Rodgers, enjoy the wrath of your New York fan base. And Florio says that you have to be that New York type of jerk to the Packers. Oh, no. That's not what's going to happen. The New York fans are the ones who are going to show the Jets that New York hate if they don't land Rodgers. Anyway, going on with the piece here, Florio says, but the Jets don't need Rodgers right now. They don't need him for the early stages of the offseason program. They arguably don't need him for OTAs. Not when he, one, knows the playbook like the back of his giant hand, and two, probably doesn't want to show up before training camp anyway. Well, folks, number one, Aaron Rodgers struggles with change. And it doesn't matter that he's got the almighty wide receiver king, Allen Lazard, the most exciting free agent signing this offseason. Doesn't matter that he's got him and Nathaniel Hackett there. Rodgers has a lot of other things to adjust to. And by the way, look at this already. Quote, he probably doesn't want to show up before training camp anyway. Hence why the Packers are moving on. Even going to a new team, there are already rumblings. We don't know if he wants to go to OTAs. I don't know if he's going to work with the guys in the offseason. Don't know if he's really going to come in and meet with people, work out with all his new receivers except for Lazard, and if he happens to get Cobb and Mercedes Lewis there. We don't know if he wants to do that. The guy's not all in. Everyone knows that whether consciously or subconsciously, he has an entire team to get acquainted with and try to make a Super Bowl run. Brand new team, and he's not going to go to the off-season camps? I mean, it's par for the course. We know this in Wisconsin. But for all that money and the expectations that they'll have with him there and all his new teammates, and you don't expect him to show up, it shows what little people think of Rodgers. And you can have that stuff, New York. Have at it. Enjoy. We've been dealing with this for a few years, and it's trash. And it's why a lot of people aren't sad to see Rodgers go. Now you get to deal with it if the trade goes through. Florio also says, at the same time, now listen to this garbage. At the same time, Rodgers should tell the Packers that if he's not traded before the start of training camp, he'll be showing up just like Brett Favre did 15 years ago. Rodgers should tell the Packers that he'll be there and that he'll stay there until he's traded. Rodgers also should tell the Packers that he fully expects to participate in practice. By rule, the team can't put him on ice, creating the risk that he'll suffer season-ending injury and put the Packers firmly on the hook for his full compensation package. The same Florio idiot who said that the Packers were making this thing personal and petty at the beginning of the article, now suggesting that Rodgers make it personal and petty. This guy's a moron. And the Packers aren't being personal. They aren't being petty. They aren't the bad guy for trying to get everything they can out of this Rodgers deal. They should get everything they can. I don't understand where this mindset comes from that the Packers are the bad guys here. Makes no sense. Brewers, Corbin Burns has hired Scott Boras. And it's really no big deal either way. Burns wasn't going to be a long-term Brewer anyway. He'll more than likely be traded at some point this season or after. It doesn't matter who his agent is. The Brewers just don't have what it takes to sign guys like him. Now, Mark A. could be spending a lot more than he does. But with guys like Burns, that's someone who, there's going to be somebody out there who's going to give him way more money than what the Brewers would be able to match, even if they had an owner who cared. And, I had mentioned Keston Hiura yesterday and how he's on the bubble to making the team. And I knew it was bad, and I didn't know, though, his spring training numbers. He's batting 156 and a 229 on-base percentage. He's struck out 42% of his at-bats. Ouch. Not good. And the guy, by the way, that's competing with him is Luke Voigt. He's hitting 316. He's got a couple of home runs. Game, set, match. What are we looking at here? Bucks are at home tonight against the Spurs. Milwaukee favored by 17.5 points. Spurs are 19-53. Bucks are 51-20. Remember when those records were reversed? Not too long ago. All right, that's going to do it here today. Again, follow along on Twitter at Wisconsin_FAM, Wisconsin_fam. And then if you would like, you can find us on YouTube. Search for Wisconsin Family, and we'll come up on there. And if you'd like to subscribe, that would be great as well, very helpful as well. But I appreciate, as usual, everyone listening here today, and whether in the morning, afternoon, night, I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.